All right, let's talk about them Wizards. Them Bradley Beal-led Wizards with like everybody left over from the Lakers. Thanks for clicking on the video. My name's Adam. Let's talk about the Washington Wizards. I'm talking about what the Wizards season is going to look like this year. Talk about these four things right here. Offseason moves, what they did during the summer, salary cap sheet, kind of talk a little bit about where their contracts stand as a team. The rotations, kind of where minutes are going to go for the team this year, and then their win total projected by Las Vegas. Before we get into it, let's talk about subscribing to the channel. Just click on the red button there and subscribe, like the video, comment, tell me where I'm wrong about the Wizards, because look, I can understand. I have Charlotte, Toronto behind this Wizards team. According to the Action Network, 37.5 wins for Charlotte, 37 wins for Toronto is the total win spread or whatever for those teams. Washington's at 34.5. So that's that's like 2.5 to 3 wins less than two teams that have them above. So this is why. Let's talk about it. First, let's talk about what they did in free agency and in trades and through the draft. I hated their draft. I just want to get out of the way. I hate their draft. I wasn't crazy about Corey Kispert. Isaiah Todd is like one of those G League guys that everybody who watches the G League is all about, but I'm not too crazy on him. But, I think he definitely is probably better than Kispert, but Kispert, I just didn't understand the Kispert pick. I don't think Kispert's a player that you can continually and rely on to be like a good player in the league. I just think even in the summer league, he just showed if you don't shoot well, I'm going to go on a huge Corey Kispert rant here. If you don't shoot well, that's fine. But be something on the defensive end. Be something to at least impact the game. And he just wasn't in summer league. So, not crazy about Kispert, to be honest. Let's talk about that trade. Russell Westbrook is out of here. And I think some, Wizards fans should be happy about that. All Wizards fans should be happy about it. They get back Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma from the Lakers. I think that's pretty solid. A really good return for a player that probably wasn't a part of your long-term future. There was those rumors that came out about how Westbrook wanted to convince Beal to go somewhere else, but it was like, what, Russ, what are you doing? What are you doing? I think you're past the stage where you can demand to go somewhere, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So Kuzma, KCP, and Montrez, I think they're all solid pieces for a Wizards team. They add depth, right? And nothing can replace depth unless you have a top 5 to 8 player in the league. And Washington wasn't going to get that for Westbrook, so they get the next best thing. They get really good players who have been to the playoffs, who have won championships, right? Kuzma and KCP come in with winning a championship. So, and then Montrez came, and he's been in the league. He's won 6th Man of the Year, so he has some pedigree. Obviously, last year dipped off for him, but it was such a weird year for the Lakers last year, so I can't really hate on any of these players. Spencer Dinwiddie from the Nets. This one's really interesting to me. I'm not crazy about Dinwiddie. He got a good amount of money, and he also is coming off an ACL injury from last season, which how much can you project on Dinwiddie in this first year with the Wizards? I don't know. He's not a great shooter. He does have good size. I'll give you that. But I'm not super big on him on the defensive end or as being kind of a scorer. And that's, look, I've talked a lot about who's the second scorer for some of these teams. Who's the second scorer for Charlotte? Who's the second scorer for Memphis, right? And that's a similar issue here. But I'll tell you why I think they're better. Or at least why the Wizards are better than what most people think they will be. Let's look at what they lost. Isaac Bonga, okay. Caleb Holmesley, never heard before. Alex Len goes to the Kings, okay. Chandler Hutchinson goes to the Spurs. Robin Lopez signs with the Magic. Ish Smith goes to the Hornets. Ish Smith is probably the biggest loss here, and I know people are going to hate on that because I didn't say Westbrook was the biggest loss. Look, they will suffer in some ways for the Westbrook departure, but I don't think it will be as big as what people think. I think this is the ultimate sleeper team in the East. In fact, they're kind of like the team I hope goes out and actually performs. But yeah, anyway, we're a little early on this. Let's jump on to our cap sheet review. I'm off Gotta get centered here. So Bradley Beal, big year. He can opt out of his contract at the end of the season and become an unrestricted free agent. I think this will be a really interesting year for the Wizards because I think they're going to try to do everything they can to impress Beal that they can go get somebody. Look at how the contracts come out. There's a scenario, I should say, where Spencer Dinwiddie, KCP, Kyle Kuzma, and like Corey Kispert and Isaiah Todd, like these players are going to be available for trades next year. So like that could net you somebody good. Is there a way that Washington can find a trade where, hey Beal, who do you want? Like who can we find? Like who would you want to play at next side, like alongside? And maybe Washington can be able to make a trade that way. We'll see. As far as their contract goes, they are really kicking themselves for the Davis Bertans contract. He's getting paid a lot of money in the next 4 years, 16, 16, 17, and 16 million over the next 4 seasons. Not a great deal, and that probably really hurts you. But little yikes on that. Everything else is really solid. They still have Roy Hachimura. They still have Denny Advia. They got Aaron Holiday as well from the Pacers, I believe. And this is a good team. This is a good team with depth. Yeah, there's going to probably be some nights where it's like, who is leading us in points if Beal's not having his night, like having a good night or an average night for him. Definitely a possibility. Other than that, their salary cap sheet looks really good. I would really want to get rid of the Davis Bertans contract. Other than that, everything's good. And they will have some potential to be able to get a little bit of money spent for next off-season free agency period. Whoops. Let's talk about the rotation now here for the Wizards. So Washington has Spencer Dinwiddie, Bradley Beal, Davis Bertans, Roy Hachimura, Daniel Gafford. Let's talk about their reserves because their reserves are really solid. So they have Aaron Holiday and Raul Neto. Neto's a really good like third point guard. I think he's good there in that spot. KCP, Corey Kispert, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell. So like there are like 7 dudes I like on the stand. I like Dinwiddie, I like Beal, I like KCP, I like Hachimura, I like Kuzma, I like Montrez, I even like Gafford. And also remember that this team lost Thomas Bryant last year to an ACL injury, and he'll probably come back in December. Now, how impactful he'll be when he gets back from that injury is it's kind of hard to say, but he'll be back in December and just add more depth to a team that is filled with it. So is there a lot of players here in their 10-man rotation that can actually provide something and have provided something in the past? Like, this isn't speculation, right? Like, we know what Montrez is. We know what Kuzma is. We know what KCP is. But them coming together on a team that needed depth, like, and now they have it with these players, like, I think this team is going to overachieve. According to kind of the numbers that I like to run, as far as kind of how their offense goes, this team will be still a pretty good offensive team. And you improve defensively, right? Like, Kuzma, I think, is an underrated defender, and I think he gets crapped on a lot by a lot of Lakers fans because they can't appreciate what they have when they have it. And KCP is also obviously a really good defensive player, so they get some depth on the wing defensively there, and I think it's good. I think that those are some players that you want to have on your team, positive players. And Washington got a lot of them, and they subtracted a lot of the players that detracted from them being successful, and that, yes, includes Russell Westbrook. So yes, that is their rotation here. I think maybe, does Bertans start? Maybe. Does Kuzma start? Maybe. Does the KCP start? Maybe. So like maybe there is a move. Maybe there is a move here where like they find the right rotation and they just are clicking offensively. They still have Bradley Beal, who's a great scorer. So we'll just see. We'll have to wait and see, right? Let's end on this note. Let's end about the Wizards over under. Excuse me. If you've listened to me talk about the Wizards, I Love them. I think they're a good team. I think this 34.5 the Action Network is giving us, I think it's a really good value. Give me the over. Give me the over. They're in the East. I think they'll beat down on the bad teams. They're also playing in a conference where they're going to get wins against Orlando, right? They're going to get wins probably against Charlotte. And I just ultimately see this team being better than what people think. So give me the Wizards 34.5. Give me the over, and I'll buy all the Wizard stock. Now this could be horrible. I'll probably look back on these videos at the end of the season and probably like do a reaction video to them and some of my best or worst takes, and kind of make fun of myself and all that fun stuff. But this is where I stand right now. I'm firm on it. Washington 34.5. I'm going the over. All right, big on the Wizards. Are you big on the Wizards? I don't know if you are. If you are, or if you aren't, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. We're done with this video, and let's get ready for the next one. We'll see you soon. We'll see you in the next video, and make sure to subscribe.